What to do? This your boy Sir Gold to represent 36 ounces of golden game. The best thing since I ain't gotta explain, man. You already know it ain't no game if it ain't 36 ounces of golden game. Today we're gonna talk about 5 signs to show that you're slipping on your pin. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're out there in the game, whatever. Certain signs and things that you should be aware of. Understand and remember, guys. The only thing that don't expire is a player. We don't expire, we on the perspire. So understand that the women they come going. Look forward to them coming to go. Therefore, when they do come and they try to interrupt or disrupt your stable or whatever the case may be, or her time may be up and you might gotta shuffle your deck, just let her know before she go. Just leave the door open on her way out. We're gonna goddamn see what's happening with this video with Mel Robbins. And we're gonna react to it. She's saying 5 signs to showing that your relationship is coming to an end. A lot of guys don't want to respect it, but I'm sure some of y'all have been there before, even seen it. We're gonna talk about it, and we'll do a reaction to it, and let's see what happens.
Hey, it's Mel Robbins, and I wanted to make this video because so many of you are writing in for advice about romantic relationships that make you question yourself.
Right.
So I want to teach you the 5 signs that your relationship is over. Recognizing these signs is critical, even though it might be hard for you to accept it. Now, the fact that you're even watching this video tells me that you're already thinking that this relationship isn't going to last. And even if that isn't necessarily true, those thoughts that you're having that make you second guess yourself and start acting weird and clingy, those will destroy a good relationship.
Right.
You have a choice to make right now.
That's so true.
You either address the 5 things I'm about to talk about in this video, or face the truth and end the relationship yourself because it's over. So
Right.
what are the 5 signs? Sign number 1, you don't feel like yourself. In this relationship, you feel like you're walking on eggshells. You don't know how to act when you're in public or when you're around their friends. You aren't sure if you should hold hands. You're uncomfortable talking about your feelings because you don't know if they're on the same page. All of these things mean you don't feel comfortable being you.
Right.
And any relationship where you have to twist yourself into somebody that you're not in order to keep the peace, it only starts a war inside of you. And those kind of relationships, they always blow up. The second.
True. All right. Now, you know what she mean, guys, and what that means if you don't know. A lot of times when you guys pursue a woman, you usually put her in the position of power because you came after her. And today, modern women, they already know if you ain't nothing in this world free, even the price of meat that went up. So if you coming at her, then the ball is in her court. And at some point when you get wrapped up into her world and this and that, and she have her fun, and now it's time for her to shuffle her deck and rotate too, because what y'all guys fail to realize is that women have their rosters too. They have the same shit going on, and they think just like men. Some even think a little smarter than men, and some think that they are smarter than men. And you guys fail to realize that you get yourself so wrapped up into her that she started looking at you a certain way when she changed the way that she feel, and that energy began to shift. And the way that she look at you in her eyes, the way that she see you through her eyes, that's the same way you start seeing yourself in the reflection of her eyes that she see you. You should always be the prize. Don't never let a woman change you from being a guy or being a man or being a P or whoever you are.
You're constantly questioning how you should communicate. If you're nervous about sending a text asking,
women usually do that,
or do you obsess over whether they opened your snap?
The moment a guy do that,
or how long it's been since they texted you back? Do they watch your Instagram story but not respond to your text messages? Are you compulsively checking social media to try to get the clues you need that it's okay to reach out?
You know what? And speaking of that, social media fucked up the game. And I'm gonna say that because a lot of you guys are dependent on social media to catch dates and whatever. And these women know how to utilize social media to get the things that they want from these guys that's everywhere around the world that they ain't even gotta be around and don't even gotta know or nothing else. And they get all the validation and everything they need sitting behind the screen on their phone. You know, and the moment you fall out with your girl or whatever, you know it ain't no thing for her to go move on, because you see what the social media stats are saying when she posts a picture and she put herself back out there and she advertised that she's not in a relationship anymore by saying little stuff and doing little stuff. They know what time it is when they see her back on the scene and you ain't with her. You can't be worried about what she's doing out there. Stop looking at her social media. Stop texting her phone. Stop worrying about if she gonna call you or not. Get out her inbox to see if you gonna see how long she been on Facebook or when the last time she was on Facebook, and that's why she ain't respond to your text message. Whatever the case may be, homie, let it go. They come going. And there's too many of them out here for you to be tripping over just one. Like Lay's Teddy Chip, bitch, you can't have just one.
Any relationship where you spend more time questioning rather than talking about communication is a relationship that's broken.
Right.
Sign number 3, you think about where the relationship stands all the time. So do you constantly think about questions like, where's this going? Are we exclusive? Are we committed? Can I introduce you to my family and take you to a work event? How should I introduce you? What do you say about me? Not knowing where you stand means this relationship doesn't.
That's true. But it also means, in other words, you ain't got shit else better to do. If you got something else going on, and I ain't trying to say every guy live this type of way, but I'm speaking from a certain type of experience. And I'm telling you what I know. And I'm only going to speak the facts, because a woman will tell you that they want a good guy. As soon as they get that guy that's doing all the right things, that's too good for it. That ain't what she want. It's gonna take a little heartbreak to shape her up and this and that. And then you have the other type of woman that's too rough around the edges because she'd have been around the block and she know what time it is and this and that. So she gonna ruin her chances of being with a good guy because she's imprinted up under the last guy thinking that all guys the same because he didn't know how to treat her. And the last guy before that. Never question yourself or your relationship. The moment you got to sit there and guess and think or question whether or not if your girl feeling this way, whether or not if she doing this, whether or not should you do this. Yes, you're right. If in your mind or something telling you something ain't right, you got that feeling for a reason, because you don't begin to start caring about somebody unless you got some type of connection. You are knowing that intuition feeling. It's all there. We all have it. But you guys choose to ignore it. The difference between women and men, a woman can feel it and see it, and she know how to keep stuff to herself. Because in her mind, she would mentally leave you first before she build up the courage to physically leave you. That's what have you guys off your toes, because you never see that shit coming. You keep doing the same shit, trimming, thinking it's all good and gravy, but in her mind, she know you ain't never changed. And the moment that she make her mind up that it's time for her to leave, she split. And you thinking shit was all good and gravy, and now she's out the door. Never question your relationship. Never question yourself or none of that shit. Because the moment you do, something ain't right. If anything, once you get that feeling, start looking into it and pay attention to the small details, you'll find all the answers and everything else that you're looking for.
Doesn't stand a chance. Sign number 4, you're starting to get annoyed. You're now the one opening snaps and not responding. You're saying you're too busy to hang out in order to send a message. You're hesitant to commit to future plans because you don't know the future of this relationship.
Right.
You snap at them more than usual. All those cute little things that used to make you laugh, they're really annoying. And here's the kiss of death. If their name pops up on your phone or they walk through the door at the end of the day and you feel dread and not excitement, that's a sign that you're over this person. And the 5th and final sign.
Well, one thing about breakups, and this go both ways, it may be difficult starting over, but anything better than going backwards. And a lot of times you could be in a situation with a person and knowing you ain't happy with them. And instead of you leaving, you'll sit there and cause chaos, corruption, which misery loves company. Because if this person ain't happy with you and you're miserable because they're not making you happy because they're no longer happy with you, you're trying to make them miserable. And that's going to be nothing but a problem. And it's just like that falling leaf thing I had explained and said years ago. Just like trying to catch a falling leaf from a tree. It'll be difficult. One hand behind the other trying to catch that leaf before it fall, and sometimes it still hit the ground before you know it or not. That's the way that relationships is. Some things ain't meant to last forever. Guys, don't be too quick to hold on to something that ain't meant for you. Women, if that guy don't understand and respect your worth, move on. Somebody will.
You're questioning whether or not you have the same values. If you're starting to feel like you're losing yourself, for example, maybe you're drinking more than you'd like. You're spending less time with your friends.
That
You're
is not
skipping the
gonna help.
gym. You're only doing things, for example, like listening to certain types of music because it interests them. This is a major problem. If there isn't a balance between the two of you, you will always feel like a less important part of the relationship because you are. Now, here's a quick test to see if you're losing yourself. Just go out alone tonight with your friends. And if it feels like a relief because you can finally act like yourself, that's a sign that this is not a relationship for you. I bet what you're doing is you're confusing chemistry for compatibility. You see, chemistry is like a match that gets lit, but eventually it burns out. Compatibility means you and your partner bring out the best in you, which is why it goes the distance.
Right.
So let me recap the 5 signs.
Right.
You don't feel like yourself. You're constantly questioning how to communicate. You think about where the relationship stands all the time. You're starting to get annoyed. And you're questioning whether or not you have the same values.
That was excellent. That was excellent. Now, the last one, questioning about the values, that goes down to you putting out the same energy that you hopefully will receive. See, what goes around comes around. You sow good seeds, you plant good seeds, you reap good benefits. Good trees, big trees will stand and grow. A foundation to begin. But you have to be careful with the things that you do and the people that you allow in your circle, especially when it comes down to the woman of your choice. If you're alone, choose to be alone because you need time to get you together. You're working on yourself. It's important because it matters who you have on the side of you. That's a representation of who you are. You can't be out here working hard and having things and doing this and doing that, and you just got any type of girl on your team. Because the only time guys really feel played or feel some kind of way when they find out they side piece or they girl been double dipping is because of the investment they didn't put in, how much they didn't invest in, all the things they didn't did for. Now, if the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't be tripping on what she doing. You know what I'm saying? Or else because you would have some type of substance where you can move on to the next because you know you ain't average. That's the way that you got to be. Life too short. You only get one shot at this. One shot. So you can't carry on doing the same thing. They call that insanity. Expecting something to change and you keep doing the same thing that ain't getting you nothing but the same results. If it's time to go, go. Sometimes you married to a person. Sometimes you might have kids with a person and you feel like, damn, just because I'm married, I got to stick it out for the long run. But if that person ain't willing and ain't giving you the type of proper love and respect that you need, it doesn't matter. At some point, you're going to have to cut your ties. In order to pick some things up, you got to let some things go. It don't matter because you got kids by this person. You don't want nobody around your kids and this and that, whatever the case may be. It don't matter. Life goes on. Two people don't stay together forever, not always. Even death will do your part. So, of course, when you do certain things too early or when you do things for the wrong reason, you get negative results. So, of course, you want to have the type of people that when you put out a certain type of energy, you radiate the type of energy that attract positive people to you that align themselves with what you got going on. So you do have the same values, the same things in common. You have a woman that submit gracefully because she knows she has a leader in her life. All these things are natural, but it begins with you getting yourself straight first. Understand that your purpose gonna always come before your pleasure, guys. I say that all the time. 5 signs that you're slipping on your pimping. It's your boy, Sir Golden. I represent it. 36 ounces of gold again. Y'all stay blessed out there, man.